Grab your big book, your pen, your highlighter, and notepad and get ready to hear and apply some of the solution from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous through the experience, strength, and hope of Nikki M. To have a question addressed in a future episode of Noodle It Out with Nikki, please send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com, and Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks. To get a more interactive experience with Nikki as she noodles out life and recovery questions using the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get a link to her weekly Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting held live on Zoom every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The information to that meeting is in the show notes of this podcast. God morning, God afternoon, and God evening to all. My name is Justin B., and I am a son of an all-powerful and all-loving God and a qualifying addict in multiple fellowships, living in the miracle of recovery, and I'm here with the intelligent agent, spearhead of God's ever-advancing creation, and my co-host, Nikki M. Nikki, please say hi and introduce yourself for a second.
Well, there you go. Good morning, and greetings to everybody around the world, even if it's evening where you are. I'm just so grateful to be here, and that's what I am. You know, it's like, do I believe what the big book says? And I do believe it. I am an intelligent agent spearhead. I used to think I was other things. I was brainwashed into thinking those tell lies to my vision and believing the all that stuff out there in the outside world. And I'm just so grateful to be here. We had our noodle meeting this morning. So I'm like what we like to call high on God dope. If you haven't had God dope, there's an endless supply waiting for you, and it's free. You just have to work for it.
Awesome. Love it. Hitting that God dope early today. Love it. All right. I'm going to do a little bit further introduction of what this is, and then we'll get right into noodling it out with Nikki. We've got some good questions today that we're going to address. All right. So this is a project of the RICO 12 family, the RICO 12 family of recovery resources. Among those are the RICO 12 weekly speaker meeting, the RICO 12 shares podcast, and a few more projects in the making, a big book roundtable in which Nikki's a part of, as well as a couple of other people. And the RICO 12 missions and goals are to educate addicts of all varieties of the commonality of all addictions, as well as a common solution that can work for virtually all. We subscribe to the idea in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous that rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. We also have the goal of reducing or eliminating the stigma of shame that accompanies addictions of all kinds. We hope to educate many so that they understand that addiction is a disease that can be treated and from which a person can live a happy, joyous, free, and productive life if they follow a few simple but not easy directions. RICO 12 is a self-supporting service and appreciates donations to help us continue to share this message of hope with as many as can have the opportunity to hear it. This project, called Noodle It Out with Nikki, is an exercise and deep dive into finding solutions to questions, issues, and things we encounter in everyday life in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And we'll bring a couple of questions from our own lives, from the lives of people we work with in recovery, and from the listening audience to the Big Book. If you have a question for us, send an email to the email that will be in the show notes, in the show notes of the podcast. All right, let's get into this, Nikki. You mentioned that today in your Zoom meeting that you meet with like 150 people typically in there that ask you questions based on the Big Book, that there were a couple of questions asked that I think would be really good to hit on here. The question that I want to start us off with is, you mentioned that there was somebody who came in and said, I have been in the room for 5 years. I've worked the steps multiple times. I'm seeing no results and I'm getting depressed. I don't feel any hope. What do I need to do? So let's start there. What do you think, Nikki?
Yes, I'm just so grateful for the souls who came out this morning. We had almost 160 today, 157 souls. So that was a miracle in itself. And it's for any and all addictions and afflictions. And so this beautiful fellow, raised her hand and I called on her. She said exactly that. And I heard instantly, I worked the steps multiple times. I had to interrupt her. Are you sponsoring? Because I didn't see what page work the steps multiple times is on. Page 15 of our big book says, when all other measures fail, work with another addict will save the day. It does not say rework your steps. See, I know, I love spiritual giants and we're all equal in the room. Some of us just have different gifts. Mark Houston is one of them. And I've listened to his tapes and he says, Mark, work the steps every year, do it again. The way I've been taught and the method that my sponsor at the time, Cameron Freeman from Toronto, Cocaine Anonymous, showed me was that the inventory is done once and there it is. That's who I am. I'm either living in this self-will of mine or I'm living in God's will. So when this person said, I've worked it multiple times, I said, have you ever sponsored? No. So you're 5 years in a room that requires 12 steps, not 11, not 9, not even 1. It's 12 steps. You've never worked with another addict. Okay, let's dive deeper, friend. There's a whole chapter called Working with Others. Okay, that's what I said to her. It's like there's an entire chapter called Working with Others, not rework your steps. And every time, what was awesome, Justin, is that one of my sponsors came on and she was just like, her brains exploded all over the channel because it was 20 years in NA, Narcotics Anonymous, and then she found us during COVID, and I've been working with her almost 3 years now. And she's like, Nikki, I was taking someone through the steps, and literally everything that I was reading is happening for me now. So basically, the book was coming alive. Did that happen when we first read it? No. But then what happened? It's like your amends will take innumerable forms. She was doing a step 9, innumerable forms. And she's like, she went to a funeral this weekend. She could serve her ex-husband, the father of her children. It was just like, it couldn't have been run out today and make your amends. 2 years, 8 months later, she's able to make this beautiful amends. And at grandpa's funeral, with the new wife, and they were best friends. It was just a love fest because she followed the instructions of the book, and it was coming alive for her through teaching it. So this fellow who's like, I've been in the rooms 5 years, never done a step 12, never carried this message. So she's not getting the miracles. And then I love this word, depression. And then she, and Nikki, you're not a doctor. No, I'm a soul surgeon. And if anybody wants to know where to get a soul surgeon degree, you just go to the School of Hard Knocks. Okay. It's really radical, Justin. I mean, you probably have one too. Anyone can get them. They're free. You can really just throw your life into the toilet and you get a PhD and you become a soul surgeon. So I said, depression in my world is called self-obsession. Nikki, make that make sense. Okay. Depression. I'm depressing myself. I'm obsessed. I'm thinking constantly of me. What's going to happen to me? I'm depressed. No, you're self-obsessed is what the book, is what I say. And these are opinions. If you don't like it, either get a sponsor or start your own noodle meeting. I mean, it could be Noodle with Maria. I don't care. But here's where I took her, Justin, and we can get to another question because I ramble on and I don't know. There's just so much this book says about I've been in the rooms for 5 years and I'm not getting better. Number 1, are you sponsoring? Are you working a 12-step program? Ask yourself this and ask your sponsees that. Why are you reworking the steps? What page is that on? You work the steps every time you take a sponsee through. And then here it is, page 133. And I always go with yes or no questions. There are no yeah, buts, or maybe in my program. This is a black and white yes or no. Oh, why do you say that, Nikki? Well, let me digress here real quick. Page 53. God is everything or God is nothing. Choose. So if they're asking me to make a black and white statement, God is everything or nothing, choose, then yes or no is how we answer in my program. So halfway down page 133, in the second paragraph, it says, we are convinced. Now, words matter. Convinced. My line out, I literally wrote, no doubt whatsoever that a spiritual mode of living is the most powerful health restorative. And Justin, we were on Zoom. I looked at her in the camera and I said, I'll look at you right now. Are you really doing a spiritual mode of living? What do you think her answer was, Justin? Because she had to get honest.
Yeah. Well, in getting honest, I'm sure she said, well, I think I'm trying to, but I don't think I am. What do you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't allow those. It's like one word answer, yes or no, madam.
Yeah. Then
and her
no.
answer was no. Yes or no, sir. No. So that's what it is. And get your sponsees. Like, we're teachers here, everybody. And there's no word of sponsor, or it's your prospect for a beautiful life. Sometimes I describe this thing to people as a pyramid. I don't know if you've ever been, I was asked to be in a pyramid scheme, of course, like in the 80s. You put $25,000 in, you bring all these people in. Well, here, you don't have to put any money in. But here's the real self-sacrifice, Justin. You have to put your life in. And when you put your life in, all these miracles, and then you bring people in, and then you get abundant. It's like this pay it forward pyramid program where it never ends. Like everybody gets paid the $25,000 every day, because it's just so like you bring, there's no price on it. It's the price of freedom, peace of mind. So in bringing this woman in, she could work these steps. She's going to get it. And then I'm going to get it, because here's the promise. It all ties in together, everybody. Page 89. It's a bright spot in my day. It says, this is a bright spot when someone calls me and their brains are exploding and I'm having a spiritual awakening. It's like, oh yeah, you are. Every day we got to shower.
Yeah. So great information there, Nikki. I remember, and I think I've shared this before in several different places, but I'm going to share it again here for those who may not have heard it or whatever, or it may speak to them. I remember when I quote unquote finished my steps with my first sponsor the first time, and we finished up step 12, and he said, okay, it's time to sponsor now. And I went, I don't think I'm ready to do that. And his response was, well, congratulations, Justin. You just worked an 11-step program. Good luck staying sober. Get out of my house. And it was like a shock to me. It's like, wait, whoa. I want what you have. I just don't think I'm ready. And he's like, then you have to sponsor.
It's a big deal, Justin. So what I say to people, just so you know, and you can always borrow this one, if you're not sponsoring, don't call me your sponsor. I only sponsor people who sponsor. Oh, I've got a sponsor, but I only work at 11. Then I'm not your sponsor. Don't it's like this ego thing with me too. It's like, I only sponsor people who sponsor. So if you're not sponsoring, number one, you're not part of my God squad. Number two, you're working 11-step program. So you're not in a 12-step program with me. Let me know how that works out for you. I'm here when you're ready. Broad highway.
Yeah. Love it.
And sorry, Justin, on that one too, you can always take your sponsees here when they're like, what your sponsor just said to you, like, well, let me know that works out for you, or good luck. Well, what the book exactly says is, Justin, on page 163, let's everybody turn there, page 163. It basically at the top, it says, well, we can start at the bottom of 162. It says, thus we grow. And so can you, Justin, though you be but one man, I put woman above that, with this book, this big book in your hand. And it says we, so that's your sponsor saying to you, Justin, he believes and hopes it contains all you need to begin. Oh, Justin, I know what you're thinking. You're saying to yourself, I'm jittery. I'm alone. I can't do that. And then we remind your sponsee, you can. I don't even use that but word. You can. And I wrote yes above there. See you, and I love. We talked about this on the meeting today. It's like we forget that we tapped a source of power. See, Justin, the newcomer's not looking for God. You weren't necessarily coming in here. You're looking for an answer to your addictions. No one's coming in here. Like, we're looking for power. You tapped a source of power much greater than yourself. To duplicate, Justin, this process with such backing of what we just accomplished, it's just a matter of willingness, patience, and labor. Work it. And I know you always say, you're worth it.
Absolutely. And that was one of the big awakenings in my life when I realized I'm worth it. I'm worth it to do this. It's worth it, and I'm willing to do the work because, dang it, I'm worth it. Okay. Good stuff. Thanks for addressing that. That's a good one that I think many people need to wake up to. I mean, you see it all the time. I see it all the time with people who have been in the rooms for multiple years who are dying. And you ask them, what are you doing in your program? Are you giving back? Are you sponsoring others? Well, no, I don't think I'm ready. So yeah, it's a big deal. Let's do one more question in this. We'll hit on this one real quick. And this came from the Noodle with Nikki WhatsApp group. I saw this earlier and I thought this was a really good one because I've been there. This person said, that they were on a long trip in a bus, and it could be on a plane, it could be in a family van or whatever, where there's lots of people around. And the announcement was made, hey, be courteous to others around you, be aware of your cell phone usage so you aren't bothering people. People are trying to sleep. And there's somebody behind me who is yapping up a storm, who is, just talking a lot and doing stuff and disturbing me. How do I maintain a semblance of serenity and, live in recovery in a situation like that?
All right. Yeah, that's a great question. And here it is. It's page 100. Okay. And if you go to the very bottom paragraph, it says to our friend who's on the bus on a 9 hour, I mean, I fly to Luxembourg. That can be hellish too. It's like crazy. Flying's not fun, especially in 2023, or taking a bus. And it says, assuming we, and that's you, friend, and me, assuming we are spiritually fit, we can do all sorts of things addicts are not supposed to do. Like we have to be, there's a key word, spiritually fit. Now, if you've got a 9 hour bus ride, are you being, because here's the principle in action, responsible. And are you getting spiritually fit before you get on? Did you get a good night's sleep? Did you pack your neck pillow? Did you get your water? Did you buy your little water spray so you can spray your face on, like the rich and famous do in first class? Okay. Like all these things that you can get organized. Did you look around if you can move on the bus? Are you taking action? See, like it's spiritually fit. It's like it says, we are in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. So whether let's just go on. All the things that irritate us, right? The person on the bus, your government, the barking dog, the dog that your dog's sitting that runs out the gate, all these things that happen, right? Justin, like all these crazy things that happen when we're spiritually fit, we can handle those things. It says, I love to read this. Let me just keep reading. It says, people said we can't go where there's 9 hour bus rides. I'm new in program. It's going to trigger me. Life's a trigger. Don't even use that word. It's not in the book. We must not, have things in our home, or we can't be around friends, or avoid moving pictures. All these things, you can replace it. My line out on that whole top paragraph on page 101 says, not true, false, fake news. Because it says our experience, that's recovered spiritual spearheads of God's ever advancing creation. Our experience shows that this isn't necessarily so. See, it says we, big book people, God's children, meet these conditions every day. Crowded buses. You try to get on a Toronto subway lately? It's raining here today. I'm supposed to meet my friend. I'm a bike rider, Justin. I'm going to have to get on that TTC, the Toronto Transit System, which is not fit for any human. Okay, I don't know where all my tax dollars go. I will write a 4-step on it later, mentally. I have trouble putting pen to paper. Nikki's lazy. Here we go. I have to meet these conditions every day, person on the bus. This is radical. See, an addict who can't meet them and is complaining about other people, you still have an addict mind. There's something the matter with your spiritual status. See, my line says this is not a program of sobriety. This is a program of freedom. Like this is serious stuff, because today it's the person kicking me, the little baby on the plane screaming, and I'm a mother. Okay, I want to be a grandma. You think I'd love these kids? It's like, oh no, I just want peace when I'm flying, kicking in all this stuff on the bus, whatever it is, traffic. I mean, go deep with your sponsees. It says your only chance for sobriety is someplace like Iceland Green Camp, and even there they have buses, hot women, bottles of scotch, lines of cocaine, food, endless buffets. It says that. And it says that's going to ruin everything. See, if only this person's plans and designs would stay put. There we go. Let's roll into page 60. The actor who wants to run the show. If only the bus people would do what I say. If only my government, if only this bus ride was 9 hours, it can't be 9 hours and 10 minutes. See, I'm supposed to be there at this time. You understand? If only everybody would be how I want them to be. And then that's on page 61. If only everything would do as I wish, people, places, things, the show, my life would be great. See, this is a codependence dream come true. We have to be spiritually fit. And it says, it's like my line out on page 101, because we're jumping between two parts here, 101 and page 61, the actor. I have to do this work every day. And when I walk free when I'm spiritually fit. I don't notice the noise on the bus, or I have a plan of action, like my earbuds, and I put them in my ears and I listen to some Joyce M. She's my friend. She didn't know she's my best friend. She's got tons of podcasts out there. I don't like to promote anything here because, it's like, it's not a religious program, but we do see where spiritual people are right and make use of what they offer. Person on the bus. Think about a Buddha. Read Siddhartha, sitting on a bed of nails, trying to mind his business. Okay. This is radical. I love that question. It's like, what do? You get spiritually fit, working the steps, and you get responsible. It's like being sick. You're going to get sick. You're going to get a cold. We're going into winter. Now it's summer, but everybody have your sick kit ready. Have your vitamin C. Don't wait till you're sick lying in bed going, where's my husband? Nikki, you don't have one. Go to the bathroom and get your sick kit ready. You got it. You're responsible. You're accountable. You're spiritually fit.
Love it. Oh, what a good couple of questions. Thanks for opening up the big book to my understanding and to the understanding of lots of people who will be listening to this. I'm grateful for your time, Nikki. We'll wrap this one up here with just the trademark line of mine. Keep coming back, everybody. It works when I work it, so work it. You are worth it. It's not just me that's worth it. It's not just Nikki that's worth it. It's you. You are worth it.